Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is José Aranda, and this is Doña Ana Community College's Latinx and Hispanic Heritage Month 2021 program on some interesting facts about South America. There is a lot anyone can say about South America. I mean, it's just very broad and general. It's one of the continents, and so I don't want to. I tried to be a little different and find things that were like uncommon and interesting instead of just facts that anyone could easily find when researching parts of South America. So I hope this presentation is somewhat entertaining and informative at the same time. We don't need you to have your cameras on or your microphones, but I could entertain questions or comments throughout the presentation or at the end. And this presentation is also being recorded and will be stored on our Latinx Live Guide homepage. Great, so let us begin. Also, I wanted to say, depending on where you live or how you grew up, you can have different takes or experiences that shape your view of what a Hispanic or Latino, Latina, Latinx is. So I invite you through this month of celebrating this heritage, but also just something to think about, whether you consider yourself one or not, but I'm sure you know people who are, that the term really encompasses everyone, almost everyone in the Americas. The history goes really deep and far. And so even though some languages may be spoken differently from country to country, the definition and the identification of what is Hispanic and or Latino is very inclusive and broad. So thank you. Just wanted to say that. If you're like me, you like swimming and swimming pools. And the second largest one is located in South America, in Chile. And this is a picture of it right next to the ocean, very attractive. There's some information there on the right-hand side about its size, but I mean, you can just look at this picture. There's, I don't know, 7, 8 hotels, right, that share this big pool. So interesting, I thought. The homework is to research what the #1 largest swimming pool is. So, but nonetheless, the second one, San Alfonso del Mar in Chile. If you did not know, in Paraguay, they do not ring the doorbell when visiting each other. They clap their hands. So if you're curious as to why they don't do that, hopefully I've given you some motivation to continue your research. And of course, we can help with that if you need to, but I thought this was interesting. In Paraguay, they do not ring the doorbell. They clap their hands. You're familiar with Darwin, Charles Darwin, Darwinism, the theory of evolution. It started in the island of the Galapagos, which is located in South America. So something to consider about not only its evolution of the continents and the Americas, but its diversity and its biodiversity as well. If you go to Bolivia, you can't get a Big Mac. So this may or may not come to many as a surprise, but there just are not any McDonald's in Bolivia. So keep that in mind next time you travel through there. And on the 29th, which today is the 27th, so on Wednesday, according to this tradition, in Argentina, they will most of them eat gnocchi, which is that pasta Italian dish. and they think it attracts good luck and fortune. So if you're planning your dinner for the week, you may want to consider gnocchi for Wednesday night. The world's tallest waterfall is in Venezuela. Canaima National Park in Venezuela. It's part of the UNESCO Heritage. Angel Falls, Santo Ángel. Angel Falls, the largest or tallest waterfall in the world. Brazil, this presentation does not attempt to even begin to talk about the beautiful country of Brazil and its many attributes and features. I simply am noting here that it is a very big country and part of South America. And because of that, it shares borders with many other countries, I think except two. Chile and Ecuador do not border Brazil, but everyone else does. So that's amazing. Just think of the trade, but also the cultural exchange that allows. And so Brazil, we knew it was a big country, but this kind of puts it in perspective. If you know your history, when the European colonizers came to the Americas, they brought with them many animals that were foreign, like the horse, the cow, things like that. But it also was vice versa. The Americas had animals the Europeans had never seen. So which ones are they? Anyone want to take a guess? Well, here's a couple. The giant anteater, the llama, the capybara, and the capuchin. These are a few of the examples most known for species that are native to South America. And there are many more. This is not an exhaustive list by all means. You know, when the explorers came to the Americas, there was a dynamic much greater than I think one first realizes, and this exchange of cultures and foods and animals and environments and really blossoms and continues to this day. So just some examples of some animals that are native. The Andes, you may have heard of this mountain range. And so on the right-hand side here, we have a picture. It pretty much is, it runs the entire length of South America. You see there on the left-hand side of the continent, it borders the edge with the ocean there. Maybe not so close, but in reference to the entire continent, it's on the left-hand western side, and it's very long. And so you may have heard of songs or people reference. It is a big reference because so many countries, I mean the area of the Andes, because it means the same for all these countries it crosses. The Andes means the hills, the mountains where certain people live, and because of where they live, they have distinct features in their food and customs and things of that nature. So it provides a diversity for each of those regions to have communities and towns up in the Andes region, as well as for everyone else to appreciate the geography of South America. You have these big Andes mountains that stretch almost the entire continent. So if you're interested in researching more about this mountain range, we can help. Give us a call, and we'll join you on this journey here. This is just an example of the plethora of things that we can help you with in terms of finding incredible resources for this topic of doing research on the Andes, for example. So that's what this page is about. Rainforests and basins. You may have heard about South America or Brazil's rainforest. And so this is just an example, a picture of the Andes on the left-hand side, but also the rainforest and basin right there in the middle. Some call it the world's lungs because of the trees and the oxygen it produces for the world. Another geographical term here, Las Pampas, primarily located in Argentina, is the plains. Basically, it's in Spanish, the plains, and it also includes Uruguay, but a very common geographical feature of South America and Argentina. The Pampas, the plains, and then the Llanos, which is similar. Llaneros are the farmers, cowboys, cattle ranchers that live and in this geographical region and raise cattle. So another common theme in South America, both in several of the countries. They have this kind of like our Western cowboy, right? That lives out on the range and with animals and rides horses, and that type of thing exists down here as well. The ombu is a fire-resistant trunk and tree that needs very little water to survive, and it's native to South America. The ombu, Ortederia celoana, I think I pronounced it, is a grass also native to South America and most popular. It's got deep roots, so that it can find its rich soil, and it's also somewhat water resistant, so it flourishes in low water situations. But is also a source for grazing animals. So, Ortederia celoana. And last but not least, I just wanted to highlight an Argentinian poet named José Aranda, who has written a popular piece of work called the Gaucho. That is like the llanero, like the cowboy that I was trying to explain earlier. The person, the man out on horses, out working the land and with other animals. So this poet wrote a book with his poetry kind of referencing this theme, and it was very popular, as you can imagine, and somewhat symbolic of the culture of that area and region. So the Gaucho boat by José Aranda. So here's just a slide with our references that we've used. Again, we invite you, this was in no way a presentation to be exhaustive. There's just so many, right, things about a continent like South America that could be discussed. But we were just hoping to make this somewhat entertaining and also invite you to consult with us either on any of these topics or anything relevant to that. We're here to help. Our contact information and phone number and email can be found on our website. I'm sorry I did not include it on this presentation, dacc.nmsu.edu/library. Are there any questions? I think not. Well, thank you all for joining us this morning. The next presentation will be next Monday on a personal journey by an author, a local author, who will discuss growing up in the Mesa Valley, being Hispanic. That's next Monday at 10 a.m. Thank you.